watch the show know that we love to do jargon of the day here, where we make fun. We take an actual autism term and we try to break it down and make it user friendly. But what I actually do is make fun of the actual term. And I've said forever, someone needs to write a book, don't make me do it, that explains all these autism terms to you. Well, my next guest did it. So I love this. And if you ever want to have a place where you can go to be able to have all of these terms that we talk about and more, boy, she was really comprehensive about it. You're going to want her book. The name of the book, I want to make sure that I get it right, is 𝗷𝗓𝗧𝗦, an autism dictionary. And it's relatively new, just came out in December. So right now we're welcoming Tosha Rollins. She happens to be a licensed professional counselor in South Carolina. She is the owner of Rollins Counseling, LLC. In 2018, she started the Autism in Action podcast to help families connect with autism resources, services, and support. Tosha also enjoys serving the community as an autism advocate and has served as a volunteer for the Champion Autism Network and has worked with Lead with Love Training Company as a safety plan coordinator. Tosha is a public speaker and a published author, obviously. Her newest book, we are so excited about, Autismology, is from Future Horizons, which is also where my book is from. I'm very excited that she's here. She also loves adventure, traveling, nature, and spending time with her family. It should be noted that she is the mom of 4 children, and 2 of whom are now adults on the autism spectrum. So Tosha, welcome.
Thank you so much for having me.
You're like my twin sister, because you don't know this, but I walk around always with a pair of glasses on my head.
Yes. I usually have 2, but today's just 1.
Oh, there you go. That's so funny, because for the first time the other day, I've started wearing glasses for reading too. So for the first time I had 2 in my hair and I was like, I can't handle it. Well, I have very little hair at the moment, so it's difficult. But Tosha, I'm so excited to talk to you. I'm so excited about your book. Talk to us a little bit about it and why you made the decision to do this, aside from saving me time.
Well, thank you again for having me today. This is really a passion project that took 4 years in the making. And it honestly started with just kind of, randomly finding different terms. Every time I would run across a website, I would see different ones. I would go to look for something. I would have a really hard time getting different definitions from different places. And even in having different conversations with family members, I was trying to share a little bit of autism literacy, given that I do have 2 young adults on the spectrum at home. And, it makes it easier if you have something to reference, like the book, the dictionary, to share that information. So I really wanted something that I could share with my family members. I wanted something that I could use as a professional resource with different colleagues, working alongside autism spectrum disorder in the office. And then also from an academic standpoint, helping additional professionals learn more about autism and literacy.
I love this. And you touched on this a little bit, but let's talk about, because people might look at this and have an assumption, okay, well, first of all, this is a very useful book for a parent, because it is. But as you said, it's got so many different uses for it. It's just barely been out since December. But what are you hearing from professionals about this book? Are they using it for themselves? Are they handing it to parents, or both?
I think it's a combination of both. Oftentimes when parents are new, they get a new diagnosis with their child, they don't really know where to start. And there's so much information. It can be very overwhelming. And this really kind of serves as a little field guide to help point you in the right direction to get a little bit of common knowledge behind that with the terminology.
Yeah. And so a mom of 4, and 2 of them on the spectrum, both of them adults right now. Is this something that you wished you had when your kids were first diagnosed?
Oh, absolutely. Yes. It would have served as, it's okay, I guess, a permission slip. It's okay to talk about autism because you're talking 2 decades ago, things were very, very different in the world of autism then versus now.
And so often, I experience it this way. You want to be a good, on it parent, and you're talking with people, you get the diagnosis. And I felt like it was this deluge of just terms. Like, looking back on it, it makes me angry that professionals thought that I would just know what these terms meant. And
Right.
when you're paying by the minute to be talking to specialists, you don't want to be asking them, can you please explain what you meant when you said that term, right? So you feel
Right.
behind the eight ball, and it really becomes a brain drain and a bank account drain to not know
Yeah.
what terms mean.
And when you get handed that report full of the terms, that has a bunch of different diagnoses or different recommendations on there, not having that accurate understanding can lead to a lot more confusion. And we definitely don't want that for families.
Now, I had said before, I do jargon of the day, and I put an actual definition, make fun of it, and then we move to a really working definition. But when I first saw your book and I saw how thorough it was, I was blown away, because you have
Thank
terms
you.
in there that we've never done. But also, it's so professional in that you're not making fun of anybody, which I really appreciate, but that's my flavor. But the terms are so accessible. What did you do to help yourself to make sure that it was written in a way that people could pick it up and look up a definition and not have to pick up 4 other textbooks to figure out what the definition means?
I had a lot of collaborators helping me kind of go through this, researching through the definitions, picking out the ones that we felt really, truly were evidence-based or that could be researched and put in, cross-referencing different professional organizations, the glossary list and all the different things that you can find online, just to ensure that it was something that could be easily digested and easily understood.
Yeah, I sort of feel like it needs to be on everybody's bookshelf. I started to say every parent's bookshelf, but the truth of the matter is, I also wish the professionals would buy this, because here's the other thing that I run into. I love me some autism professionals, but I get a little fatoutsed at them when they start talking in all their jargon speak, when they know that they're talking to parents. And I went through something a year ago where I got very fatoutsed with a professional that I didn't know, so I didn't have this bond with them. But I said, you're talking to parents. Can you please use words that we understand? And he said, well, it's really difficult. And I got very offended by that. Because if you said to me, I don't know how to put it in terms that are professional, I would go, oh, okay. But nobody was born knowing all the professional terms. So if you truly understand the science of what you're doing, you should be able to explain it. And I got very fatoutsed. But then many professionals have come to me and said, but it is actually really hard for us. We think of things in this very specific way, and it's almost like we've forgotten the words to say, and we're so busy thinking about something else that it's literally like translating back into another language. I think this book is useful for them to keep on their shelves, so that when they're explaining something to a parent, if they come upon a term that the parent asks them, they should whip this book out, read the definition together, and then further discuss. So I think it should be on the parents' bookshelf. I think it should be on the professionals' bookshelves, and they should be using it. Do you agree?
I 100% agree. Absolutely. And I think it would definitely help bridge that gap of that literacy there, that misunderstanding when they're trying to communicate with families, especially newly diagnosed families.
Yes, because those are the people that are the most overwhelmed, underslept, and hungry to know what is it that we're talking about here, but can you put it in terms that I can possibly understand without getting an advanced degree by tomorrow?
Absolutely. And this puts it all in one place. You don't have to go from one website to another website to another website. I did all of that for you making the book. So, we really, truly, I just wanted something in one place that could offer a sense of reassurance that, hey, I've got it right here. All I have to do is open it up and turn to it and find it,
Amazing. So where do we get it?
Anywhere. It's online at all the major retailers, Amazon included, the Future Horizons website, Barnes & Noble, Walmart, Target, all the big places.
Absolutely love it. And if people want to know more about you and your story and your family's story, where would they go?
You can go to ToshaRollins.com. That's my business website. There's an About Me tab and a few other different resources on there as well.
Amazing. Tosha, thank you so much for what you're doing. I hope to run into you sometime at a conference and connect, because I really, really appreciate this book. I think it's so useful, and I'm so glad that you did it. And you did it really well.
So much.
I'm a fan.
I am very grateful. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, you take care.